Okay, I think we're ready. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sunday night in the Hangout. We've got
Yeah.
we've got an awesome guest today. We finally got the timing set and everything else, and we're here. Um, I played some of his music, and you're listening to a little bit of some of his tracks now. I played some in the beginning of it. He is an artist. He is a producer. He is a family man, and we're going to find out tonight how he combines it all together and everything else. But, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jay Vaughn,
Yo,
how you doing?
I'm doing, bruh. I'm doing well.
How's your
Very well.
Sunday? How's your Sunday going?
My Sunday's going good. I've been, well, as everybody's seen on Twitter, I've I've been indulged and just absorbed by my Stream Deck or Steam Deck, sorry. So that's been fun. But other than that, we just been enjoying the day. We cleaned up the house, and yeah, just got to figure out what's for dinner after this.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's kind of like I was telling you before we started. It's like this is my day to just kind of like I catch up on everything here at the house. I don't deal with anything else,
Oh yeah.
and it's just like I'm trying to figure out why my wife's brakes on her truck keep growling. And
Oh,
I think I figured it out. I think the rotors are bad.
oh well, that that'll do it. That'll
Yeah.
do it.
So Sundays are my honeydew days.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? What do you do? And yeah.
Like my real life stuff. Like, what do I do?
Well, yeah. I don't want to get too personal, but
I mean, it's not really too personal, but I do work for the state, so
oh,
um, okay. So my name is Jay Vaughn. That's actually my government name. It's just not spelled the way my artist name is. Um, I'm a Christian artist. I also produce. I songwrite, um, and I am a sound engineer, self-taught, all self-taught. So,
wow.
and I aspire to be a graphic designer sometimes, and all those other things. I'm the guy that touches everything because I've been a one-man band for years. I've started over many social medias of my own. I get too many followers, I get nervous, and I start over sometimes. In my
I
real
get that.
life, I'm a husband. I have a 2.5-year-old, and I have another one coming in August. A girl. So I got a boy and a girl, and I work for the state. I am a support for um, all the CPS departments, basically. So I do that on Monday through Friday, and yeah,
Wow.
that's pretty much my day to day. And I also sing for my church and stuff like that. So
Wow. So it keeps you busy.
I'm a pretty busy guy, but I always find time somehow.
Yeah, because you have a little one at home, and you got mom to take care of, and you got another one on the way, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So yeah, you got a very busy life. So it's going to be kind of interesting once we get to that topic, how you balance it all. So, um,
Mm.
but getting into some of like I said, your past experiences and stuff like that with music, and I mean, who was the first artist that sparked your interest into the style of music that you do?
Well, to be honest, um, prior to everything, I was a huge Chris Brown fan just because I just loved the way he sang a lot of songs. And I grew up on a lot of Janet Jackson, Boys to Men, um, All for One, just some of the old R&B for the most part. Like Usher to me, it was like my earlier 2K times. I'm 34, so I know a little bit. Um, you know, just like I loved love music, if that makes sense. Like not
Mm.
like sex songs and stuff, but like songs about love and relationships, hurt and pain. And so all that stuff mattered to me. Um, and even when I write my music today, yes, it's faith based, but it's also on a relational side where it's realistic perspective, um, which I value. And it wasn't until I was 22 that I made my shift in music to the style of music I have now, um, in which surprisingly there was no real motivation or anybody that I could say offhand that caused me to write the music that I write now. It was more so like me shifting my my genre as far as what I listen to and as far as like how I react to it. Um and for me, I didn't grow up listening to gospel music or anything,
Okay.
or Christian rap or anything relative to those things. And so I started to do some research on artists that I've never heard of that apparently have been doing it on this side of the fence for so long. And so once I
What,
started to lock in on
what's one of those artists that you researched?
this guy called KB, like he's literally like my go-to. He's been my go-to since 2014, 2015 or so.
Okay.
And he's actually a rapper. He's a rapper, he's a pastor, he's married and all that stuff. Um but his cadence is immaculate. His wordplay is immaculate, metaphors, everything he says, in my opinion. And he's never missed. He's always been consistent throughout the years. And even to like the point of his shows, he's such high energy. And he has moments where he tries to sing, but I'm not worried about all that. But but yeah, man, he's dope. He's just really dope. And again, I found other artists and gospel artists and stuff. Like to me, like people be like, oh man, like this is how I see. Like this is why people talk to me about, like when they talk to me about music and they talk to me about who can sing and who can't sing and stuff like that. And I'm like, bro,
Mhm.
you guys have no idea. Like the women, there's some people in the gospel industry in general that will just blow so many of these artists out of the wind. Like
Yeah.
I could just pull out a dang list and be like, hey, check this person out right here. And they're like, oh my God, that's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, they've been training. Like they've been like in the field, okay? Like a lot of these gospel artists, I mean, there's people that grew up in the church like Katy Perry and stuff like that, and they're cool. But like I'm talking about the people that have like studied in jazz and stuff, like they can scat and all that stuff, like the crazy, crazy singers. And comparing that to just the secular world, in my opinion, just blew my mind. And it always has. And that mixing the two of those together and finding a place where I can still make R&B, right? And still feel like, of course God is in the midst of the whole circumstance. It really allowed me to build my own sound. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because I know there's other people in the field too that I've listened to in the past 2 years or so, 3 years, because it is kind of trending right now. Christian hip hop and Christian R&B
Hmm.
just recently got acknowledged by the Grammys. Like they acknowledged them as a subcategory, and
Oh, okay.
one of my friends was interviewed for that, and he because it's a guy that I worked with in 2014 all the way to 2016, 2017. I did a lot of his remix covers, like I mix and master for him and everything. And I have him featured on some of my older projects. But yeah, so he hit his stride, and like I said, there was just a handful of people that got interviewed for on the Grammy website just recently, and it's starting to populate more. Like you're starting to see a rise more in Christian R&B and Christian hip hop and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because it's not like it was back in the day. Back in the day, it was just like Jesus, Jesus Christ, Christ, Jesus, Jesus Christ, like really boring and boom bappy. You know what I mean? Like people
Yeah.
actually like when I show certain people songs, I'm like, you guys. The thing about Christian artists now is that they have to actually prove a point. They can't come out and just be like whack. You know what I mean? So a lot of them have a tendency to actually learn and take time to be a lyricist. And because I showed Savant a lot of the guys here and there because he's a lyricist himself, and
Hmm.
I'm like, dude, listen to what this guy's about to say. And he thinks, oh, here, yeah, I'll listen to these little Jesus bars. But then when he listens to what he's saying, he's like, wait, hold on, this is a little bit different because they actually do care about how they approach music. And it's very careful for the most part, right? The more mainstream type people. And so yeah, so I've been putting a lot of my friends on and just sharing with them my experience and my perspective, and it's been cool. It's been real cool.
So how do you combine, like the, I mean, in your songs, some of the stuff I listen to, I mean, you combine some of the modern day into and gospel and everything else into your music as well, don't you?
Hmm. Yeah,
I mean, do
I
you find
do.
that difficult to do? Finding that right beat or that right lyric or anything else to put in there?
No, I've been writing since I was 14 years old, so
Oh wow.
20 years. And the funny thing at it was, this is how I started. I started because this girl broke my heart. I wrote her a love letter, right? And then she ended up like liking somebody else. And ever since that time, I never stopped because I realized that I was pretty good at writing, poetry at the time. And I started to I then started to like make like a lot of parodies. Like a lot of people that, if you really like know me, like I parody a lot of songs. Like I just might just be like, you ask Maze, I'll just take something that also helped me learn how to freestyle too. So like
Okay.
I'm fairly decent. I'm not like the greatest, but I'm fairly decent. But I always make like fun of music and stuff. And so but I never stopped from that point. But also having like, growing up in a studio with my father, like he was a producer, excuse me, he was a producer back in the day, engineer. And just sitting down with him, and then at the end of my senior year, I met like a guy, and he brought me to the studio, and then I just started hanging out with them. So like being in those environments, you learn to listen for specific things. And also and when you listen, if you're the type of person like me, I listen and I pay attention to people, their reactions, their response to specific sounds, specific
Okay.
parts of the song, specific drops, stuff like that. So when I pay attention to those things, um, and I listen to today's music from time when it comes up on the radio or something, I'm like, the formula doesn't really change. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
You don't have to come out with a song where there's too many effects going on, when you're fading in like, ah, you don't gotta do all that. You really don't. You can just come forth, and it could be the same formula every single time. But all you have to do is just have a good beat, a good message, a good part in the song that can shake and shift everything, and then also be not be repetitive, but also come back to a repetition. So if I said da 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 da, right? That's repetitive, right? But if I
Yeah.
said da 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 da, I'm a da 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 da, what? And I add the little mixes in there, right? And then I can go off into some other direction, and then I can come back to that da 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 da. Like you're taking a portion that started off, everybody's getting that part down. Now you switched it up a little bit, you switched it up more, and then you go back to it, and then you can lead yourself into a hook, bridge, whatever.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then when your hook comes out, you have to have a part that leads up to a part that, for the most part, is going to stand out the most. And like for instance, like let's talk about Ed Sheeran, right? And he
Mhm.
goes, "Baby, I'm dancing in the dark with you between my arms." Right, beautiful. Barefoot on the cross, listening to our favorite song. I can tell you what I see, and then he breaks it down. I don't deserve it, brother. You look perfect tonight. You see, he went from
Huh.
the dancing in the dark. Now you're swinging, yeah, you, and then he swings it, and then he brings it down. You look perfect tonight.
Oh wow.
It's literally like such a simple formula. Like I had a song recently called Winter. Okay, Winter goes on the hook. It goes, every day is winter without you. Praying for the sun and the sky is blue. Now I got you on the repetition. Sitting on the roof and I love that view. and I switch it a little bit. Out with the old and in with new. And then I go, I can't even lie without God. I'm a whole mess. I'm supposed to kill my flesh. Right? There's a switch up. Every day is winter without you. Back to the repetition. Every day is winter without you. See?
Oh wow.
So
Huh.
I gave you the repetition, I gave you the little change, and then I gave you the big change, and then I went back to the repetition, and then I dropped off.
Interesting.
It's so simple.
Yeah.
So and but the real the because the hooks are the easy part. The issue that a lot of people fail is the verses. The verses are the problem because you have too much. You either have too much going on or you don't have enough going on. And then like a lot of people struggle to find that middle piece. So for instance, like Savant has and I love using him as an example because I've been working with him. Um, we were talking the other day and he said he was trying to find his sound, and I'm like, well, you don't have to like be like Drake where he's like, and then when he talks, he's like, hi, I'm Aubrey. He's like completely different person, right?
Yeah.
Like you can use your talking voice. Like it's a pretty good talking voice. Like it's a good rapping voice too. You ain't got to be like, yeah, yeah. You ain't got to do all that. Like
Yep.
Lil Wayne does all that. Like people do that as far as their cadence and stuff. But like there's some people that really just be like J. Cole. He don't be he don't change his voice.
Yeah.
He just raps and talks in melodic forms. And so and so some people just need to learn to break away and change it but don't be too dramatic about it. Like there's certain songs where you can be dramatic. Like if it's more of a turn up track, I mean by all means, just go crazy. you could be like and then you could go, hold up, wait, but it's gonna take and you could just go crazy.
It's
But
amazing.
you also got to know what you're talking about. Make
Yeah.
sure it's relative to what the hook and leads into the hook. I tell stories. Some people just be rapping to rap because they want to rhyme. You can rhyme bacon and then you can put bacon to taken and then taken to awaken, and you're like, what is this guy talking about? He went from bacon to taken to awaken and Harlem shaking. Like I don't understand. What are we talking about here? There's food and there's dancing and some people that they just be like that.
Oh no. Yeah, I
And that's
totally.
that's that's a lot of music today. Like what you were talking about. Oh, shorty got cakes. I'm gonna smash one time. I'm gonna pull up the her boyfriend pull up. I'm gonna pull up the nine. Like, what are we talking about? Why are you gonna shoot him when she's cheating? I'm just saying, man. Like, make it make sense. And so, we're in a weird generation where it's just random stuff. You know,
Oh
and
yeah.
that's why I'm like super picky about like who I work with. Like, if you really want some mentorship or whatever, I'll be honest with you, but I'm very picky about how I allow people to work. If you're gonna work with me, I'm very picky about how you approach your song and how you put your song out. I had a friend here today. I've engineered for him more than once recently, and I know he tried to learn how to do it himself, but this is it. You don't learn this stuff overnight. And then he tried to put out this track talking about, oh, it's on Spotify, coming up, and I listened to it, and I said, boy, if you ever go backdoor on me again, like what is this mess? Because I have high standards for my friends. I really do.
hmm
Like if you're somebody I work with or somebody that I'm connected with, I have very high standards for you because I know what it takes. Um, and I call myself the bare minimum guy, and I still get things done. Because the reason why is because I can't absorb my whole life into full on content creation. I can do as much as I can. Like I've grown my TikTok over 1,000 followers in less than a month,
It's pretty
and
good.
yeah, and all my videos have gotten between 1 to 4,000 views on each video, and I've only put out like probably 7 videos. One video got 455 likes and stuff, and so I was able to get approved for TikTok Live at 800 followers. I didn't even apply for it.
Oh wow.
They just gave it to me, and I just was like, okay. but but what I'm saying is like I know for me, I'm not gonna just put out anything, and I
Yeah.
feel like content creators like have to have that perspective for themselves. Don't just put out anything because you're just trying to get a product out.
Oh,
if you got time to make the time to make it look the best it can be, ship it every single time the same way.
I agree.
You don't come out Super Nintendo over here and then Nintendo Classic and then Atari down here. Like you don't just do that. You know what I mean? Those are three
Yeah.
different types of bits. And so we need the same consistent quality. And so that's why like I'm very hard on like Savant. I'm very hard on him. No Diddy. Um no Diddy at all. Um about when he's trying to put stuff out. I'm like, dude, do not put this out just because you're trying to like, oh yeah, it's like, oh, I was barely trying. Like, no, try every time because that one time that you didn't try could have been the best thing that you ever did to somebody if you did try. And that could have been your best track. That could have been your moment where it would have went viral and then you would have had a lot of eyes on you. And if they seen that you had other songs that you weren't trying or any videos that you weren't trying and the quality was dirt, they are going to make their decision on how they pursue you from there.
Yeah.
And that's the most important part is when people see consistency, that's why I've always appreciated people like Usher and stuff like that because and her and all those other people in R&B because and Jasmine Sullivan, they all value consistency. When they put out singles, their singles are always fire across the board for the most part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't just come like Usher don't make videos where he's just dancing like this. You know what I'm saying? And he's
Yep.
like, "Na, na, na, na." Like if
Yeah.
Usher
He's a
ever made a video where he was just loose as a goose and just "Na, na, 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 na," I'm sure everybody would be like, "What is going on here?"
yeah.
And he'll lose mad fans just because they're like, "This dude gave up. He quit." He'll get clowned on in the comment section. All those things considered. So yeah,
No, that's pretty good stuff. Like I said, I mean, I'm not new to like. Well, I'm new to like the new stuff because I haven't listened to it in quite a while. But since this whole thing with what's going on with the hip hop culture and stuff right now with P Diddy and all that, I've been more in depth in like listening to different songs and listening to the people that have are contributed to the whole thing. But I mean, I grew up on NWA. I grew up on all of those old school rap hip hop artists and stuff like that created the industry. And then but by the time I got into my high school years and stuff like that, it wasn't the group that we hung around. That's not what we listened to. Most of it was the heavy metal, the big hair bands and stuff like that.
mm-hmm.
But I mean, they still have the same thing because there's a lot of songs in those that are what you were talking about earlier about people just throw words in there just to make
a song.
And it doesn't make any sense. But I mean, the beat's catchy and the music's catchy, so nobody really cares, I guess, about what they're saying. Because I know there's some songs that I like the music to. I have no idea what they're saying in it.
There's this one song, and I have this thing about like foreign songs because I know they may be rhyming, but in English it don't ever make sense ever. And so there was this dude, I don't know his name, but he went viral. He was on the Color Show, which is where they put a lot of people live performances, and he had like this big old gap in his teeth, and he was French. And I don't even know what the song was called, but he goes, "How do you call it?" Like, right? And it sounded super tight. I was like, dang, that sounds so sick. But then when you pull up the lyrics, bro was talking about like riding on a motorcycle or something. We're like, wait, what? It's so random. And then but it sounds cool. And the
Yeah,
beat was cool. And I'm like, man, I've never heard anybody sing like that. And so yeah, you gotta do your due diligence and do your research on these things because it I mean, there's this other song, man. It's like I don't even understand it. Like it's like the beat's like something really catchy. Boom. Like the Noriega from back in the day, right? Sampled, right? And then he goes, okay, he said, I'm styling that
oh
Billie Eilish. And I'm like,
yeah,
Billie Eilish? What are we talking about? Why are we bringing up Billie Eilish? And then
yeah,
the song is just all about a bunch of other stuff. He's rhyming, but it don't make sense.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, this song is random.
I never understood that song. I mean, it's just like it was catchy because of the beat and everything else. But yeah, when you go to try to listen to the, like you said, it's like, okay, What about Billie Eilish? You know, what
Exactly.
about
I still don't understand why he mentioned her.
I don't think she did anything because I watched an interview with her. She was doing an interview right after that song came out, and somebody asked her about that, and she goes, "I have no clue."
She's like, "What did I do? What did I ever do? All I ever talked about was covering myself up. Like, well, why am I being targeted?"
Yeah, she goes, "I have
So,
no idea what that song's about." It's like, well, it makes sense because nobody else does either.
nope, nope,
But
not
I
at
guess
all.
because of the the beat gets you and gets you hooked into it, and because I
Yeah,
know I think we were talking about that with Savant here not too long ago, but some of the ones that came up like well the ones that are coming up now like Ice Spice and all them that they just the beats are catchy, but when it comes to
her her,
lyrics,
her music ain't even catchy.
no, I mean I don't listen to her. I mean I listened to the what was that one song that she put out that made her supposedly
It's
fire
like
off.
you a munch,
Yeah, yeah, the
and
month,
then
yeah.
now she's talking about you ain't even you a fart.
Yeah,
Oh God, where are we going with this direction, bro?
but yeah,
I
but
don't know.
no, I mean, going to that, I mean, it's just like I said, you said you are self taught. You know, you taught yourself all these different approaches to music and everything else. I mean, so looking at some of like the current industry and stuff like that, going back to that, I mean, how? I mean, does that like make you think you're doing something wrong when you start hearing things like that and they're getting popular?
No, it just makes me feel more comfortable that I'm doing the right thing. Because my
Okay.
thing is like as an artist, as a content creator and an artist, anybody that makes anything that becomes like that we want to go viral, right? Like so
Mhm.
a lot of people don't realize like the honest conversation that any content creator would have is I want to go viral, I want to be seen. I want to make it big like Kai Cenat and all those other guys. I want to be as big as them. But they don't want to do the work that it takes. They don't want to, they just want to hit the button and go live, right? And they want to get a clip, like chat clip it, like and then they don't even put it nowhere but Twitter. And Twitter is not the place for anything to be found. Okay. Because I've seen people get viral clips on Twitter all the time, and then they post their links in the chat, right? And they'd be like, or in a comment, right? Oh, it was since I got you guys here, follow such and such, and they don't because
Yeah.
they're just there to laugh at whatever or see whatever that is. But of course, there's different approaches to everything too. One thing that I learned this from an esports, or well, first I've learned this from one of my friends, but it got confirmed later on. Shout outs to my guy Faye. It got confirmed later on by an esports like team manager. He said that he decided to build his team, like each player, to 100,000 followers on YouTube, right? I would think it was 10 or it was 10,000. 100,000 too much. 10,000 followers on YouTube. And then they've been streaming the whole time, okay? Mind you, but never promoted. Never promoted. So what you do, this is the method that a lot of people
Mm.
don't know. This is and I'm actually I've been taking this method for my TikTok too, because I'm about to start doing it more. And so I'm going to teach you a little method.
Okay.
What you do is you build up, right? So of course the building process is could be whatever, but it could be a stride, it could be a walk, it can be a run, marathon, whatever. But you build up to a point where now you have a consistent amount of XYZ. Okay. People are coming in, you've been interacting with comments. Now this is TikTok, YouTube, stuff like that, right? Short form, which is great. Short form is always great right now.
Mhm.
You build up that they get used to you responding in chat, even if it sucks. Um, the worst comments ever, you could still react to it by liking it, okay? Because at least they know you've seen it. That's how I troll my haters. But so you do that, right? You build the establishment of whatever that is, okay? People will ask, "Hey, do you stream?" Da, 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 da. Don't let them know. don't promote it nowhere either. You can have it in your like link bio and stuff like that, as far as like
Mhm.
maybe a link tree or a beacon or whatever. You can have it there. That because that way it's like it's not flashed out there. Because when people come to your channel, they are looking for that piece of content. And let's say, for instance, here's a guy that a friend of mine, we built a guy from 100 something followers to over 12K in a month.
Oh wow.
We did it when multiverses dropped. Okay. So what the method was, go through, find the best build for XYZ character, right? And then flash for maybe 1 second, because it's a short, it's about 30 seconds long. But at the very end, flash the um the loadout. Okay. and
Okay.
then and then add what do you think in the comments type situation. Then and now it's like, wait, I missed that. So now you have replay value. Okay.
Okay.
So they're going back in, they're watching the video, and then they're like, wait, okay, this is kind of fire. And then they're watching it and then they're sharing it. Okay. So now you got something that, and this dude was getting 10K plus every video, to the point
Oh
where it's like
wow.
10 to 40 at some point. Okay. But what happened with him was the moment that he decided to say, "Oh, Call of Duty," because Modern Warfare 2 came out. This is a while ago.
Mhm.
Modern Warfare 2 came out in the beta. He decided to make clips on the same channel, and he was getting like, maybe 2-3 thousand views or so, because of course, his still general basis is there.
Mhm.
But eventually it started to dwindle down. Because why? Because you left the niche that you had. You left the content that people were there for you specifically for.
Yep.
And during the whole time, he never mentioned I stream live on Twitch. Okay. Because that was the purpose. You give them just enough value to see you for you. Because here, this is how celebrities do it, right? They come out with a let's say let's say I'm, I don't know, say I'm Drake. Okay. I make a new song. All right. Alluring to me having an album. I don't talk to nobody except for the people that I work with. I talk to fans in public, but I'm not out, and I'm not in no comment section. I post my songs. I'm not in comment sections. I am starving the interaction point with the audience in the comment section. Okay. So then what do? I create concerts, I create shows. And then that allows everybody to say, "Oh my God, I'm gonna go see Drake. I'm gonna go see Drake." Right? Because the
Okay.
hype is
Yeah.
there. And they buy the VIP stuff because they need to see you now. They need to hand you their mixtape. They need to hug you. They need to talk to you about their mom's problems, whatever.
Yep.
So that same method is something that content creators can use. If you minimize your your conversation to a like and an appreciation, right? Then once you've built up to the point where you've gone consistent with growing in your comments and all that else, other stuff, this, that, and the third, the moment that you introduce streaming or you start to stream from that said platform, they will flood in. Because why? Now they get to interact with you for real.
Yep.
See how that works? And it's
Yep.
it's 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 a simple marketing method, but a lot of people fail to do that because what do? They make their video, they post their clip, and with the clip they put, "Oh, live now on Kick or live now on Twitch." They post it in either the end of the video or in the mix of it. And when people see that, like I know for myself, the moment I see that, oh, it's just another streamer trying to get more viewers, like flick, you'll start to
Yeah.
look at your metrics and see how long people have been paying attention. Did they finish the whole video and stuff like that? I tested a TikTok with Fortnite. First, I started off Destiny 2 and Fortnite. At some point, I cut off Destiny 2. Okay. 4 months straight for Fortnite. And I had about 2 to 3 videos go viral. And in the midst of that, never promoted anything. I just went in, dropped all my crazy kills, got out, talked to people in the comment section, and I was working my way up. But then, of course, Underground Uprise happened, and then I decided to change my name to my artist name instead of what it was before, and then I deactivated that Fortnite. But here I am again, making another account that's rapidly growing, and I'm just doing challenges and covers and stuff like that. until I get to the point where I'm just like, okay, boom. I even have business cards too that have a QR code on it.
Mhm.
That so because you know people throw away business cards. Let's be real.
Yep.
But if you have a business card that is available for you to be like, hey man, you pull your phone out, scan it, and then you can actually send that link to other people if you need to. Like, hey man, this dude was dope. I still got his stuff in my phone. I'm gonna send it to you, and then blah blah blah. Or you got a group of people, one person can scan it and everybody can get it. You can keep the card that way. Because
Yep.
now you know you have a piece of real information to get a hold of this person. Not just, oh, I can read that it says these different websites here.
Yep.
I'm lazy, so let me go ahead and scan it.
Yeah.
You when you make people work, that's why people don't like that. When you put your kick in Twitch and stuff in your clips, when you make people work, people don't want to work. They don't want to. If it's not there, they don't want to see it. Because why? Because they don't know you and they don't care.
Yeah.
You see a guy outside. Look, let's talk about homeless people. This is a bad example, but a good one. Okay, you see a homeless person. You don't know that homeless person. What's the first assumption that everybody makes with a homeless person when you give them money?
They're gonna use it for cigarettes, alcohol, or something else.
Drugs and alcohol.
Yep.
But there's genuine homeless people out there that have gotten circumstances that were out of their control, health related, marriage related, whatever. They could have got screwed
Mhm.
over. And so when you meet those type of people and you give them money and you see them buy the food, you know what I mean? Your interaction with them changes. But
Yeah.
you don't get the time to interact with them because of your first initial thing, and this is where my point is. Your first initial, if I'm a streamer, okay, your first initial thing about me is like, oh, they want me to go and follow their channel, they want me to give subs, and they don't. You have to prove to them why you are worth those things,
Yeah.
okay? And homeless people they don't have a tendency to prove themselves, but you can feel in your heart like when somebody really is truly desiring something to change for them, you
Oh
know?
yeah.
So yeah.
No, I mean, no, that's great advice. I mean, yeah, yeah, leave them. I like that. I like that. So if you guys, like I said, this video will be up. So if you guys want to go back and catch all that again, you guys can go back and I'll make a separate clip for that too, because that's a pretty good advice. And it's a good way to do things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really not that labor intensive, as you say. So
Absolutely not. That's why I said I do the bare minimum. It's not. It's like the days of collaborations and stuff. That stuff's over. Why? Because everybody has an
yeah.
ulterior motive in some way, shape, or form. Like I can't say that I have no ulterior motive, like from anybody. Right? For this instance right here, I have an ulterior motive. What is my ulterior motive? It's not. It's not. It's not a bad one. But what it is for me to be able to speak on a platform and for that to be shared in some way, shape, or form, and it can at least each one reach one, right?
Yeah.
That's my motive. Anytime I speak anywhere, I don't care if I'm speaking in front of two people. My ulterior motive is not for my own monetary gain, but for me to be able to reach one. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no,
So,
I feel that. Like I said, that's the reason why I started doing these, conversations. I mean, if I grow, I grow, great. But the more and more, the only reason why I want to grow is so that way everybody's message that I talk to and stuff like that can get out to further people.
right, exactly. So it's like
So
you can't say that in public to people because I mean you have the desire. We all have desires. We don't want to be small for the rest of
no,
our
yeah,
our our and that's your ulterior motive. But when people take that and twist it to make it seem like you are um disingenuine, and then you have to reposition yourself for others, that's when it becomes like, okay, I'm not even gonna bother. Like I don't take time, like one anybody knows anything about me from these past couple years, I don't take time to be like, hey man, let's set up a day that we're all streaming, let's play this game, and da 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 da. I've done it, it's failed, or
yep,
whatever. And so since I don't have to take that time no more, and it's just based upon, you know, pure interaction,
mhm,
it just makes it feel more organic. That's how I feel like, yeah, like if I hit up, I don't know, Ninja, and then I'm like, hey Ninja, let's play Fortnite, man. Let's play Fortnite. I'm the best Fortnite player in my city. not in the world, but my city.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, dude, let's do it. And then I go and tell everybody I'm playing with Ninja. It's not that I want to be his friend, but I'm trying to get clout off of Ninja. And that's the problem.
Yep.
That's the problem. You can't come to people no more without any, and even if you're a smaller creator and you meet somebody that's bigger than you or much bigger than you, and you decide, and let's say they reached out to you or they're responding to you. Like I've had like, okay, in the Destiny community, one of the bigger names at that time, he reached out to me and added me out of nowhere. And we were talking on Twitter, and then he joined my Discord, and all my friends are freaking out, like, "Hey, is that so and so?" I'm like, "Yeah, he wanted to be my friend. He added me. He said we could play sometime." I didn't reach out to him, but what does that look like to everybody else?
Oh yeah.
It looks like I reached out to him. It looks like I hunted him down. I'm doing it for clout. When in all actuality, I never did get to play with him. We just managed to swap socials, and he's dropped 50 subs on me in the past and hosted me for like 4,000 viewers. Like I did nothing to benefit him.
Yeah.
I never asked him for a thing. I was just being me and minding my own business. And when people see it like that, it's different because
Yep.
now they're like, oh, wow, this guy just kind of gets some things handed to him. But it's like, no, it's not about that. It's about you just being a genuine person, minding your own business, keeping your head low and putting your foot to the, putting your foot to or your hand to the plow and just do what you got to do for you.
Yeah.
If we can normalize that, then we'll have less drama and we'll have less like, you're gonna have people talking about you all the time. I got people talking about me all the time. I don't even care. Because why? Because that's you wasting your time on whatever you're doing while I'm out here growing.
Yep.
Like you can stay stuck on your little 2, 3, 4, 5 viewers and 17 subs on YouTube and stuff like that. Meanwhile, I'm looking at algorithms. I'm looking at how to grow. I'm looking at my next video I'm gonna edit and stuff. I'm not worried about you.
Yeah.
Mind your business.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
I
People
get that.
adults find it hard to be adults these days.
Oh yeah. Oh definitely. Yeah, because like I said, I mean, no, I do the same thing. It's just like I'll interact on a post that I feel that I can contribute to, like when I interact on Twitter. And, if I feel I can contribute to something or maybe, put my 2 cents in or my opinion in, but then I get that same thing. You get those ones you get the little troll accounts jumping on you, sitting there trying to jump on board because they see your engagement going up on the Twitter post.
Mm-hmm.
So they're trying to jump on board, just random thoughts or random comments. And yeah, I just let it go.
Yeah,
It used to get to me, when I very first started with social media a few years ago. It really used to get to me. It's like, oh man, he's calling me out. So I had to get back on there. And it's just like, then I realized it's like, no, it's putting, why should I care? Like you said, why should I care what they think? They can keep adding engagement to my post all they want. I don't care.
yeah. So here's another scenario. There, for me, recently, I had a content creator comment on a post of mine, um, talking about. I'm not going to bring up the topic because I don't feel like talking about it right now, but just something in particular that we had a disagreement on. Um, they said their piece. I said my piece, but then I also let them know that I'm no longer going to be replying to the conversation after this point. And it's not because I was trying to prove them wrong, but I was sharing my perspective. You shared yours, I shared mine, and I know we're respectfully going to be in a consensus here, and so that's that. But the person continued to state things, even though if I fact checked it, it would have been wrong.
Yeah.
I could have kept going, but I allowed them to, and I just commented on the other stuff that was there. Because why? One thing that I learned since one thing that really stuck out to me when I first became Christian was there's a Bible scripture that says, avoid vain babbling because it causes more ungodliness. Okay. Or another version was avoid foolish conversation
Hmm.
because it causes more confusion. Because honestly, like people just, we all call them internet keyboarders and all that stuff, keyboard warriors, whatever. Um, the only thing nobody owes anybody an explanation, but the one thing that you can give somebody is an answer,
Yeah.
and you stand on your answer. You don't have to go any further, even if you get attacked for your answer. I had a friend. She was a um, whatchamacallit, a community manager for a very popular Halo team, pro team, and basically she made a statement on a specific community, and she first stated that she doesn't hate no one. Okay, then she made a statement on the specific community, um, in the LGBT community, a specific one,
Mm.
and put her beliefs behind it too, as to why she's making her decision. Immediately, cancel culture, boom,
Oh yeah.
came in. Okay, um, and she didn't respond to everyone, even the bigger names that were part of Microsoft and in the Halo community, as far as executives that were in that comment section. Um, all she ever said was, it's her decision to make those beliefs on how she feels about topics, because everybody feels a way about something.
Hmm.
Everybody has their own opinion. And just because it's tied to her relationship with God doesn't mean that she has to change her status quo.
Yeah.
And I feel like anybody can respect that. Like, I don't particularly agree with a specific community being involved with other communities because they felt like they wanted to be something different one day, if you get where I'm going.
Hmm.
And because in my opinion, they're just failed athletes. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
So you go be a bully, and that's your prerogative. But that has nothing to do with a person's decision. You can't be mad at that just because you aren't able to play a video game in this said category, which is strange to me. That's your prerogative.
Yeah.
But just respect the boundary, because it's not even legal everywhere. It's
Yeah.
legal in specific states. There's a reason, because they all have the same mindset. It's not because they hate you. It's because it makes sense genetically.
Yeah.
So, however, but yeah. So she lost all her stuff. Lost all her. She lost her team. She got kicked off the team. She lost all her sponsors and everything else. But you know what? She then decided to go into the ranking system of Halo and pushing for top Halo rank and stuff. And she's been smiling ever since. She had a baby
Yeah.
recently. Her name's Magic Moonshot. She's a wonderful person. And she just kept a smile on her face. She lost everything, but she's still pushing. And I feel like when they incorporate too much of themselves into the comic section and people just have their own perspective, then we just need to be respectful of that. Like, hey, that's you. That's what's up. I
Yeah.
don't, I, being Christian, I have friends that are in LGBT as well. Um, do I ever tell them I hate them? Absolutely not. Do I ever talk about them being, the Bible says you're an abomination? Absolutely not. I know what the Bible says. Okay. And it's not even so much the principle of what it is, but it's just the act of sin, because sin is sin regardless of what it is. It don't matter, none greater, none heavier, right?
Hmm.
That's just what it was saying in that particular time. Okay, overall, that's the overall thesis.
Yeah.
But it becomes, oh, Christians are hate group. We're not.
Yeah.
We've never been. We just have a perspective, and we decide to share our perspective to the world. And you choose your perspective too, and it's but who gets all the hate? Us.
Oh yeah.
you know, all the time. I tell everybody they won't mess with Muhammad and Buddha and all that stuff. Why? Because they know the people behind them, they ain't nice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We just take the slaps and the kicks and punches. That's why it's easy to make fun of Christianity. But you say that about them, you probably gonna get an atom bomb on your house, or or
Yep.
somebody gonna end up missing. Just saying. So, how be ever? That's a whole different combo.
No. 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 I mean, yeah, it is true. I mean, it goes into how we how we see people interact on social media, how we see people interact in content creation. I mean, like I said, I started late into the content creation world of things, so, and plus, with my age and everything else, it's not something that what you see now with content creators, they've done it for most of their life. They've either gamed or they've done certain things, but mine was there was a big, like a 10-year, 15-year gap between when I used to game when I was a kid for what we, back in the day really wasn't games. We had Pong, little two
Mm-hmm.
little
Yeah,
paddles that
yeah,
you
yeah,
went
yeah.
back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Or we had Atari. Those were the games I were grown up or brought up on. And there was none of this, you know.
Yeah.
So there was no connecting with friends online. There was there wasn't no online period.
Period.
But yeah, so it's just like the evolution of the simpler time that we were talking about this last night in the podcast about generations. And it's just like the simplest times, back where, um, you could, meet up with your friends after school or meet up with your friends on the weekend and plan something, and now you don't have to. So it's like now you've got all this different kind of this learning curve that everybody's going through over, even the new generations coming up are going through a learning curve on how to manipulate or how to work their way through social media. And they're learning through people that, do that kind of stuff, do the hate, because that's what you see the most of, because that's what's, I hate to say
That's
it, but
what's emphasized.
that's what's pushed forward.
Mm-hmm. One thing I learned, especially with like the whole Diddy situation, is that we all talk about, oh, let's put more love in this world and da 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 da, da, but you can't love unless you know love. And the only thing that I could say that is love is God. And if you don't know God, you can't love people. You
Yeah.
can't love the world. You can't, as far as loving the people in the world, okay? Because you don't have the compassion that God has. And so when people say, "Oh, well, God did this and that in the Bible," da, 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 or God, um, why did God allow this and that? And I'm like, everybody has a story, okay? There's going to be good and evil in your story, okay? Your decisions are based upon what you do. Just because you couldn't pray grandma into heaven when she had cancer, you can't put that on him. Grandma has her own story. She has her
Mm.
own relationship with God too. She has her own story to atone to. Okay, whatever decision grandma made, okay, throughout her whole life, led up to that one moment. Okay, and everybody has to be accountable for themselves. And so when we don't realize, because that's why I have no problem with befriending anybody, is because I look at everybody as a soul.
Mm.
Okay, because God said, He said, all souls are mine. So if I look at you as a soul instead of what you identify as, then I can treat you with love and respect, and I could treat you differently than what you thought I would. Because I've had people come up to me or not come up to me, but when I met them, and they would say, "Oh man, I thought you were such and such," and I'm like, "What made you think that?" "Oh, because you're X Y Z." Well, why would you make that assumption of me? "Oh, I heard you were weird, like, but you're pretty cool." And I'm like, "Well, you heard wrong, because I don't know where the weird stuff came from." And by weird, I meant like, in the Destiny community, they call them freaks, people that
Mm.
just do the craziest stuff. You know what I'm saying? Stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know where you got that from, because I ain't never done that a day in my life. I've had people try to take screenshots of fake conversations of me and Amaze and some other group of people in this is years ago. And I'm cussing like crazy. I'm like, I don't even cuss. Like I don't even, like this don't even look like me. And we saying all kinds of stuff. It was so funny. If I had Maze here right now, he'll tell you right now. It was so funny, man. And I've known that man 5 years, bro. Super. That was the funniest conversation, man, and we laugh at it every single time. But yeah, it's just, we can't be the change unless we have a change of heart. And the only way you can have a change of heart, and I'm sorry to say this, but is to find God.
Yeah.
And people will never, like, we think that we can change our mind, we can change our surroundings, we have this willpower that's so powerful, but we don't realize that we are human, we are fickle. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can
Hmm.
change. Our hearts are deceitful, and we can betray ourselves in a matter of minutes. We could say, "Hey, man, I'm never gonna drink again," and then a drinking gets in front of us, and then we're just taking a sip, and the sip turns into a shot, and the shot turns into a bottle.
Yep.
That's why I don't believe in the whole self empowering and stuff like that. That, like, oh, you got to be focused, you got to have a mindset, you got to be positive, and no, you that's you being willpower. But let's talk about the days that you don't have the willpower. Let's talk about the days that you break down and cry and you have all these frustrations. You want to take it out on everybody. Let's talk about those days because you want to sit here and act like you can do this 24/7, but you are not perfect.
No.
So why do we press so hard on trying to be perfect online and everything else instead of just trying to find the one that is perfect?
Yeah.
Because I tell people, I'm like, look, if you, because even I've talked to atheist friends and everything, and they be like, man, I don't know what to do. Them, I'm like, dude, I can't do nothing for you from here. I can pray for you, I can encourage you, but what I can do for you right now is tell you to find God. Because even when you feel like you can't do nothing in your life and everything's going out and going crazy and stuff like that, and you have no control and you're trying to control everything, but you don't understand and you can't figure it out, I promise you, if you find God, He will make a situation look so crazy to you. I've been in the craziest situations. I was homeless for 5 months, technically. I was stranded in a whole state for 5 months
Oh wow.
with no income except for streaming. And that came a month later. I got into a situation when I was like 2019, before it was before I met my wife. A couple months before I met my wife. Um, Basically I was with this girl. Everything was good back and forth. You know, she was in Indiana, back and forth between her and here in Washington and stuff. And then I decided to, make the move, and then pop the question in the midst of making the move. Now, I didn't have my plan was to go out there with a little bit, make the move, pop the question, get the yes, move some things into here, which was only a suitcase full, and then come back to Washington, and then basically finish the rest of my move in another month or so. Right?
Mhm.
That didn't happen. I got stuck with the little bit that I had because because she said no, which was completely mind blowing because she's just like, I'm not ready. And I was like, wait, we've been talking about this. I don't understand. Then that turned into, I can't take you to the airport tomorrow. And me looking at Airbnbs, or not Airbnbs, Ubers, and it was about 300. I would have to take four Ubers because it was all the way in Chicago. It was about 3.5 hours out. Four Ubers. That would have been $300 an Uber. I said, you know what? I
Dang.
guess I'm a resident. I guess I live in Indiana now because I can't figure this out. I had $400 in my pocket. Okay. Um, and another check coming from my job in like 2 weeks, which my job was at the time Twitch, full time Twitch streamer. I was making 3 to 5 thousand a month because Destiny 2 had this, recov service thing, and I had a whole website, I had a Discord, I had people under me and everything. Now, I had to go overtime with that. I'm talking about 16 to 18-hour streams.
Oh
This is why I
wow.
don't be streaming long. 16 to 18-hour streams, drinking Red Bulls like crazy to the point where I started having heart palpitations. I gained 50 pounds, and in 5 months, I gained 50 pounds because I was eating out almost every single day. I was spending $1,200 almost a week
Wow.
on because it snowed in. The closest store was 7 miles out, and all the restaurants were nearby, so it was whatever. But it was about knee high, almost knee high snow. It was about negative 20 something degree weather. I wasn't going out there. I ain't got no car. I don't know nobody. Apparently, I'm in the hood because I found that out later.
Oh jeez.
I'm like, I'm stuck. All I had was an air mattress and a blanket that the girl gave me the next day, and the air mattress popped
Oh
in
gosh.
a week. So I had to roll the air mattress up and I used it as a pillow. So I wake up. I survived off grapes for a whole month, the first month. I can show you. I got pictures. I have proof. I have proof. I was a lot slimmer, and I have before and after. The next month, I asked my parents to send me my laptop. I bought a little standout table, little fold out table for like 20, 30 bucks. Got my laptop, got my stuff, and I just streamed day in and day out to the point where I was depressed. I was like, man, I hate this. I got to wake up and do this every day. Food was good though. But man, the heart palpitations were scaring me. I never felt my chest hurt so much. I mean, beating out my chest, drinking 3 to 4 Red Bulls a day, man. And um basically the way I got out of there was my grandmother died. And so I was asking my family because My rent was like, man, 2,000 something dollars. That's why I was like, I had to go overtime because I'm making, 3 to 5, but in essence, I'm spending maybe 3,000 plus dollars on rent and food alone.
Yeah.
And so I'd have to work extra time so I can at least have some wiggle room for the following month. And so, yeah, when my grandma died, I remember like her getting sick, and I started to stream a lot less because I was just trying to push through. It was like it just became so daunting, and so my family started a GoFundMe. I got my family flew me back. My grandma passed, and I went on a hiatus, and then not too long after that, um, my other grandma passed about a year later,
Oh wow.
from cancer, and so I went on another hiatus. I'm talking about months at a time, just gone off of Twitch. Okay, I was hitting partner numbers and stuff like that too at some point, or closer to it, and so I just got rid of it all. And then I tried to start over. So my old Twitch got like 4.2K followers. Like, so I ended up getting back on. Then there was hate raids that happened, and then I asked Twitch to take away my affiliate. Didn't give them a reason why. Just asked them to take away my affiliate. My reason was because they didn't respond to it, and
Mm.
we were all telling them in the community at that time. They asked me for my IP address and stuff like that, and I was like, okay, well, it's kind of weird. They're asking for my IP address. I never said why. And then about 3 4 months later, I said, okay, I'm gonna come back to Twitch. I'm gonna come back to streaming, and they would not give me back my affiliate. They didn't give me a reason why they would give me back my affiliate. I still seen the statistics, so I said, okay, well maybe I can keep going. So I kept going, but none of my metrics were moving, and so they shadow banned me.
Oh wow.
And then basically the following year or so, I mean, all in the midst of this, I'm met my wife, blah blah blah. In the following year or so, I started to dabble on a new account. I made a whole new account. I got my affiliate back, but then I was like, I don't want to push like this no more. I don't want to grind like this again. And then I took a time off, got married and everything, and got a kid and everything. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna get back into streaming, and I'm back into streaming and stuff. And then not too long after that, Maze is like, hey, there's this place called Kick. Let's go there together. And I'm like, okay, well then if we go there, we got to play together and stuff like that. I'm not about to just go here by myself. And he's like, okay, yeah, we'll do it. So when we first came to Kick, we were playing Fortnite, and he hated Fortnite, but I made him play it anyway. Um, we were playing Fortnite and Destiny 2, and we're doing helping the community and stuff like that too. But he started to rap more on Kick, and then it got to a point where he started saying, "Reb, I think I'm gonna." At my time, my name was Rebuking, but he was like, "Reb, I'm gonna go ahead and do this full time. I'm not gonna game no more like that." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. It's whatever." You know what I mean? Um, so I kept doing my thing. He was doing his thing and stuff like that. I'll tap in on him. And then not too long after that, my nephew got murdered in April
Oh
of that
geez.
same year that Maze and I came over to Kick. And so that pushed me off of the radar again for about 4 or 5 months. It wasn't until like about a week before Uprise, I was hanging out with like Miss Dynamic and stuff like that. And she was really pushing me to come back to streaming. And yeah, she was like one of the main people that really pushed me back into content creation. Um, Between
Wow.
her, and then there's this guy Wheels, and then Tempest Storm, Ivy Burrito. But Dynamic was the key person that really pushed me back. Um, so came back for Uprise, and then she started going through her little life situation, whatever she was going through. And then I ended up meeting like Wills, Ivy Burrito, Zim God, and Tempest Storm, and that became my little corner. Like every day I was doing Uprise and hanging out with them, Uprise hanging out with them. And so, as you say, your question was, how do I find time? Um, I have a schedule, or I had a schedule: Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. I'd come home, I get off work at 5, sometimes 4, sometimes 3. I ain't got no feds watching, so um, sometimes I leave work early. Just varied. If my supervisor was there, if she wasn't there, and my work was done, I mean, I'll probably take some time off. It's whatever, right? But I'm salary, so it doesn't matter. But in the midst of that, like I went during Uprise because I was engineering and writing and recording. and doing that for another artist who was in a whole different she was in Atlanta, Talanya. She's in Atlanta or New York. No, Atlanta. And her school schedule, she was in a play. She had other jobs. I will not disclose. Because those are that's her personal,
Yeah.
personal jobs. But and so she's hitting me up at like 2, 3, 4, or 5 in the morning. Like, what are you doing? Oh, hey, let's do this part of the song. And I'm just like, okay, let me wake up out of this bed. But I have such a, like, when you get me into a mood of working, I have a very heavy work ethic. But I got to the point where I had to find presets that I had to create myself. So I created templates for a lot of my work schedule. So basically, which would allow me to, get through a lot more projects a lot faster. Now I pretty much can take care of a whole song. Like if somebody sends me a song, right, and they're like, "Hey, I need you to mix and master this song and stuff like that." Um, Preset, adjust to their, their EQs and stuff like that. And then once I do a playthrough, make sure I cut out certain parts of the breathing, certain beat drops, whatever, and then listen to it. Cool. Throw it through my mastering tool that I created myself. Well, my structure of creating the mastering tool, and that's it. Takes me. It used to take me hours, and now it takes me an hour, maybe.
Oh wow.
I've cut my production time extremely heavily. Um, And one thing that I found out too is when you are in content creation and not streaming, you have a lot more time to do things because now it's just based upon a simplified edit,
Yeah.
right? It's not I'm attending to a chat and blah blah blah. You don't have those responsibilities no more. You have I have to post this at a certain time, so now I have all this alleviated time. So it gets to me to where I'm at now. Where I'm at now is um baby's coming very fast. Less than 5 months, and I need to create a structure that's going to allow me to still be a father and still be a content creator in the midst. So I told everybody indefinitely right now we're on suspension until further notice, because my 2 hours of streaming, because I limited myself. I say you missed the window is hut. I'm not I don't miss you. I'm sorry. I got family to attend to. I give you 2 hours. You pop up, you show up, I see you, I love you. Cool. If not, I'm sorry you missed me. I'll see you on XYZ day, which was 3 days a week. And I go from there. And that also is again goes back to another method too, which is marketing, is sense of urgency. If you have a TV show and you don't have DVR, you get where I'm going?
Yep. Oh yeah.
You're gonna make sure you there for that show. Or you're gonna have to listen to everybody talk about it because you got the FOMO. You know what I
Yep.
mean? I could turn off my VODs, but I'm being nice. You know what I'm saying? So, but I leave that window. And a lot of people sub to you, when you're live because they want to see your personal reaction to the
Yeah.
sub and stuff like that. So, here's your window. I'm here at this time, and I do tweet it out. And so that's what it was. And it was fairly, it was fairly good. I mean, I had a pretty good success in terms of meeting a lot of people in Uprise, DJs and whatnot, and a lot of artists. You know what I mean? And so this next season, I don't plan to come into this season because it's funny because I've been producing for years, but I took a 5 year hiatus. It wasn't until after Uprise that decided to produce again,
Oh
which is
wow.
funny because I never told anybody. I haven't made a beat since 2015, 2016, and now here I am. I got 40 beats already pumped out and a beat
Wow.
website up. You know what I mean? And I'm making Maze's next EP, 6 tracks. I've already
Oh
done 4.
wow.
So, you know what I mean? It's funny because it's like, okay, when did you know how to make beats? I'm just surprising people. I like to do that sometimes. You know what I mean? And they're not bad. They're pretty good.
No, they are. I've,
So my approach for next season, granted that I won first season as an artist, I want to come in as a producer and I want to be able to work with somebody on a one-to-one and really develop that person. Cause I feel like for me, like I'm not trying to sound arrogant, but being somebody that's been doing this for a long time, I was very confident. I was extremely confident. I feel like there was like two people that, or two sets of people that I would be like, oh man, they might give me a run for my money because they know what they're doing. But everybody else, I was like, okay, well this is new to them. You know what I mean? I'm not.
yep.
I already know I had the seniority there. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So as coming in as a producer, I'll let the person have their creative reign, but I'll also be able to navigate them and also make them into a better artist if whoever they partner me with. Um, so yeah, so I feel like it's more so me giving back. Granted, I won, like I said, I won this season, but I want to come in the next season to give back, and I
Yeah.
want to I want to develop somebody and make them better in the long run. Because I feel like it's to me again, it's too easy to me to make music because I know what good music sounds like. I know how to produce good music.
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying I got like platinum records all the time and stuff like that, but I do know what it takes. And so being confident in that, um, I can make the decision to teach somebody what I know and make them better at the end. Even if we make it to the end and we win, cool. All I did was engineer for you, produce for you, help you, navigate on your vocal, whatever you got going on, and help write and stuff like that. But I'm teaching you process.
Yeah.
And if we win, you come out better, and I just come out grateful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's more of a selfless approach for the next season.
Yeah. Yeah. Talking about the uprise. I mean, yeah, because season 2 is getting ready to. I've seen some posts and stuff like that. It's coming here soon, isn't it? Or have they set a date for it?
No specific date, but it is coming. I've talked to I've briefly talked to Maze and I see him in chat. What's up, bro? Um
What's up, Mace?
brought you up earlier, bro. I was talking about the fake DMs. Remember the fake DMs that the people made the fake DMs about us on Discord, which we never were in. He said, "Yeah, see." but uh but yeah, so he said it's coming. So we'll just be on the lookout. Really, I know for me, I've told a couple of my shooters. I call them my shooters because man, I got some guys, man. They're dangerous. They're dangerous people. Music, man. Not like murder, but like I'm talking about
Yeah.
artistry, man. They're pretty wild. That's another reason why I kind of want to like. It would be cool. Like I'm not gonna introduce who I brought in, but it would be cool kind of locking in with some of those guys because I know them and I'm like, yeah, we gonna make some bangers, bro. Because I already know. But I got some really great artists, and I think it would be great for them to get their exposure to because I know that they're growing too as well. So this would be a good approach for them.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one thing too. I mean, I've talked to everybody else when I talked to Savon, I talked to Amaze. These platforms like Kick and Twitch. I know Twitch, they never push anything, but it seems like Kick is trying to like push, amongst everything else they're trying to get put together, but they're trying to push creators and stuff like that. I mean, so how? I guess one thing is like I know like the music industry on Kick, it's a small community.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so they're gonna go just like a business perspective. They're gonna go to their bigger numbers and stuff like that. So, are you guys got like your own PR department and stuff like that that you try to like get it out there amongst the masses?
As far as like PR, I really don't know. That would be like a maze question, you know. I'm sure that they, other than their meetings with with Andrew and stuff like that, and I'm sure they meet with other people. And Andrew's been whispering in people's ear about Uprise, and he really wants to push the envelope for growth in the music category and stuff like that. But it's more like a waiting game at this point. We can consider it like you know um sweet nothings, whispering sweet nothings right now, right? because we don't see the change um so much, or the growth, right? And so it's just gonna be depending on how they push it, because there are methods. There are very It might cost a couple dollars, but there are methods to be able to promote these things appropriately, get placements for ads and stuff like that. And um, one thing I realize that a lot of people don't talk about is embedding. And there's
Mhm.
two forms. There's one that's illegal, and there's one that's legal that all companies use, which is pretty pricey um, for what it is. But I mean, you don't Nike doesn't just pop up on multiple different places by themselves. They don't just
Yeah.
they have to pay for placements in these embedded embedding their stuff on websites, which um a lot of people don't really know about. But there's people that are just doing it because they're doing like illegally. Like pixel embedding is
No, yeah.
you putting it on Wikipedia, and nobody knows that you're on this page, that you're already embedding into this Wikipedia hidden under the context of it, just so you can fake your numbers and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
um and I tell everybody, I'm like, man, you guys all embed, bro. You guys say I'm live on Kick or Twitch, and you're doing it on a Twitter platform, and the moment somebody clicks on it, it's a form of embedding. You're clicking
Yeah.
on a hyperlink.
Yeah.
So, because and you're going to another website, it's the same thing. You just don't get to see it, what you're actually going into. You just know that that person's going to be there. But
Yeah, because
but
I
yeah,
didn't
so
I didn't know if like maybe because I know I've seen some. I mean, I haven't seen some here lately, but I've seen some like promo videos that Kicks and stuff have done for certain things. I mean, have you got? I mean, is that something? Like I said, I don't know if that's something you can answer, if it's something a Maze can answer, but is that something you guys have approached Kick with? Maybe trying to put together a video or produce a video and throwing it out there to have somebody like blast it across the platform.
that would definitely be a him answer for sure. um, it depends on how they, he said, it just depends on how they go about it. I'm sure they've brought up some stuff, but I don't know. They went to that one event, and they talked to Andrew there at that event recently, and that's their prerogative. You know what I'm saying? So I have no insight on anything. I'm just, I'm friends with the guy that runs it. I don't ask questions, and he's the one that told me to join. He said, Reb, you gonna like this? You should join. And I'm thinking like, man, like, am I again? Part of me was like a somewhat arrogant, like, man, I'm gonna run everybody over. That's kind of how I felt, because when I looked at it, I was like, it's about to be a bunch of people that just got hobbies and singing and whatever they might
Hmm.
do, you know what I mean? But then when I got in there, and I'm like, wait, there's some people that actually do this, you know what I mean? Or they got some type of training, and that was cool. It really humbled me, because again, I thought it was going to be like a talent show, you know what I'm saying? Like, people are going to
Yeah.
come in, and they're going to be like, ah, and it's going to be like whatever, and then we were going to go like that, you know what I mean? And it definitely very much humbled me to be able to try. And like, again, it pushed me to be better in engineering. I locked in. I locked in because not only because I wanted to win, but I also wanted to push myself beyond what I was. I didn't want to leave feeling the same way. I didn't want to leave feeling like I didn't grow as an artist, because it was my first music contest where I actually competed against people, even though it wasn't considered a contest per se. But I wanted to push myself to make it believe that it was. So
Yeah.
I put my best product out, you know what I mean? And it got better progressively. And which, inadvertently or indirectly turned into me winning. So um yeah, it was great. I think a lot of people that, a lot of people left salty, I'll be honest with you. Um
I think it's gonna happen anywhere.
yeah, it is, but it shouldn't happen to people that, I don't know. For me, I feel like there could have been more preliminary. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And the reason why I said that is because imagine if American Idol gave a golden ticket to every single person walking through the door. They could sing like ah, ah, and then they go onto the main stage, and the crowd is responsible for voting you, and the crowd says you're trash. But you know what? Sam, Pamela, and Simon, and all them other folks, they said I was good. What you
Yeah.
mean? Now you have a false hope. You know what I mean? It's like if my mama said I could sing, well, your mama lied to you. Let's be real. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
and
No.
some people need that. I know I had a friend, bro, thought he could sing his life away, right? I said, "Hey man, hop in the booth, bro. We're gonna record you." He made this song, bro, and I kid you not, he said, ah, 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 sha-na-na-na-na. Right? He did that. Now, we played that back to him, and he was like, "Oh, hell no, I'm not no." Dang, I sound like that. I said, "Yeah, bro," because the tracks will really, a song will really like humble you, man. Like, especially if everybody hears it. Oh man, what?
Yep.
And you get clowned for it. Oh yeah, let's go back to the drawing board. I wasn't always a great singer. I wasn't a strong singer at all for years. Um, but I had to learn. I had to learn like different ways to sing and different riffs and runs. I'm not crazy with it, but I learned different ways that works for me. And then I learned how to expand my vocals and my range and the strength and from singing from my diaphragm and hitting higher notes and stuff like that. I had to teach myself all of that on top of learning how to engineer myself for the first time, which started in 2012.
Oh wow.
I had Pro Tools 8 and LE with the Mbox 2 in a Audio Technica 2035, man. And my music, I don't know what I thought was going on, man, but my vocals were super low. They sounded cool, but they were low. The mixing was trash. The beat was louder than me half the time, and I couldn't figure it out. And I kept researching for years and years what to do, what to do, what to do. And then at some point, I just started to invest. I started YouTube and stuff, investing in plugins and stuff like that, and investing in techniques and stuff like that. And now I'm to a point where I'm satisfied. It's not, by all means, it's not industry standard, but I mean, it's not industry standard. It's like entry level to me because I don't even do half the stuff a lot of people do in
Yeah.
in sound engineering, like bussing and stuff like that. Like I don't do all that all the time. I've done it, but it's like, it takes too long. I ain't got time like
Yeah.
that. But as long as I sound good and I know it sounds good and I compare it to industry songs, because that's what I do. I don't just be like, oh, this sounds cool. I put it side by side with somebody else's engineering in the music industry. And I'm like, you know what? That sounds dang near close. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's just all about like work ethic. But
Oh
sometimes
yeah.
you need those turndowns. I'm saying all that is because sometimes you need those turndowns. Like it really, all those turndowns that I got, your voice is like cracking, you sound nasally, all that stuff pushed me to become a better artist, pushed me to work on me. And I feel like, and I know that it was like the first time that Uprise happened, right? It was the first time, like you want everybody to feel welcome and stuff like that. I know that and I get that. But I feel like with season two, we need some truth. Cause I heard some stuff in there and I was like, ain't no doggone way. You gonna make it past you wasn't gonna make it past me with that. Ain't no way. Excuse me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I was not having it. I was on the side, man, just going crazy because my ear be like, ooh, nah, nah. I would be like, drop back to the drawing board respectfully. Because they need to know. People need to know their weaknesses. Because what happens is if you do that and you push them to the next round, which we did, people are gonna go in there and the same thing, and their work ethic is gonna clash with somebody else's. I thank God that I had somebody that could sing. Because if I did it, man, oh man, you know what I'm saying? It really would be like, man, what do we do, bro? Like we're stuck
Yeah.
because you're really screwing with me right now. Like you got to be joking, right? Like, but it was a challenge to what it was, and that's what made it unique. Is because we had people that didn't know how to do nothing. I mean, I heard a song. What was it? A rapper and the lady that did the boom 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 boom. She was hitting the little boom 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 boom. I don't know what that thing was called, But I was like, how is he gonna be able to put that in a song? I mean, I know, but like, how is that gonna work out? You know, you think about that stuff, and I was just like, wait, that doesn't even make sense. Like, you know, you got Echoes, and he got the old school, you know, producer dude, and I'm thinking like, nah, he about to make something old, bro. Like, so Echo's got to find a way to make himself sound old too, like synthwave or something. You know what I mean? I knew that's where it was gonna go, and that's what happened. And I was like,
Yep.
yeah, yeah, he could pull this off, but you know, he struggled with it. I was like, dude, you got the hardest song in the whole contest. I don't care what nobody says. That was the difficult one. That was strange. But
Now, is there is it like on a video somewhere to go back and look at the first
the
uprising?
auditions, nah, man.
No.
I wish somebody recorded it. I did, however, hear from Cynics. I heard that she has gone around and got clips of from people. So she got some clips from there and songs and stuff like that. So there's some secret project being made, but of some
Okay.
sort that we have no release date. We just know it's a secret project. I mean, it's not so much a secret, but it's like, you know, it's a secret project of some sort.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that will come out one day, whenever that comes out, because she asked me for clips like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, because like I said, it's, you know, as like I told everybody else, it's really interesting to see that the community coming together. Because, you know, like I said, from, you know, my days back on Mixer to, you know, moving to Twitch and seeing some of the other platforms, there really is not a platform or a community that is as tight knit when it comes to the music community on any of these other platforms. So I mean, you guys have got something going here with doing this, and I don't know, maybe someday it can turn into something like an American Idol.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, I what I would hope, honestly, personally, I hope that one day we would be able to do this on all platforms, not just Kick related. Because yeah, Kick could be the one that hosts it, but I would love to see Twitch people come over
Mhm.
and join in as well. I had a conversation last night. Friend of mine was like, "Oh man, all the Kick people be hating on Twitch and da da da," da." And I'm like, "You guys do the same thing. It's like, you know, it's equal evil if you want to say that. Oh, you
Yeah.
guys have this. You guys have a small moderation." I said, "Well, if a TOS changes, you guys bend the rules to the point where you bend it too far, and then it gets changed back. So it's no different. It's like somebody that was just like, you know, if you got a little kid that likes to run outside." And you crack the door a little bit, just allowing them to peep his head out, and he manages to sneak out. He gonna run out. That's
Hmm.
kind of how I see their terms of service. They are very good at moderating their service because their turnaround time is immaculate, right?
Yeah.
But they realize they mess up really fast, and so they have to, like, they're the kind of people that be like, if somebody was like you ever had a dog, and you know, you knew your dog didn't eat certain things, and then you still gave the dog the certain things that it didn't eat, and you knew it wasn't going to eat it, and then you give
Yeah.
it something, and then it goes, oh yeah, you knew what I, yeah, and then they
Yeah.
and then they take it back and say, here's that thing that you, that's how I see Twitch.
Yeah.
and
I can see that.
and but Kick, you know, Kick is new. Kick has been out for over a year now, and it still has a lot of moderation. It still has a lot of things that it's working on, and everybody that's in place ain't really the, you know, most mature people in some instances. I mean, I've seen some of them, and so, you know, we've
Yeah.
seen the stories, we've seen it, and so, you know, to you know, there's no evil that's greater or lesser to me in these in terms. Everybody, they both have their own issues, but there can still be like, because this, you know, this person I was talking to is a friend of ours. Um, I said ours, but you know, anyways, they were saying basically like, you know, they're like, you enjoy yourself over there, and you left because of that. I was like, I only left because I got shadow banned. I didn't want to
Mhm.
leave per se. I wanted to come back, and then I did come back, like I said I would, and they wouldn't let me come back, so I left. Well, essentially, I left.
Yeah.
And it's not that I hate anybody on Twitch. I love my friends on Twitch. I actually got some friends tabbed up right now. To be real. Why? Because they got channel points, and I want some channel points, you know, so I can go in there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
If Kick had channel points, I'd have everybody tabbed up too, but
Yeah.
they don't, so it's whatever. But yeah, so I'm just like, you know, I just want to, I still would love for there to be collaborations. I mean, at
Yeah.
some point, way, shape, or form, man, and it would help. It would help. It's like two forces joining together, Well, I don't even know what pink and purple make, or green and purple. Yeah, pink and purple make, as far as, or pink and green make whatever color. I don't know what color that makes, but
Yeah, I don't
it'd be a
either.
cool. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
No,
Like,
yeah.
or
No, I got you.
purple and green. I don't know what it is, but fuchsia. I don't know. I don't know. We can make a color, bro.
Oh,
Like,
heck
let's
yeah.
go. So, and I would love for those people to come over from Twitch to the Uprise. That would be cool. You know what I mean? Talk
Yeah.
about people, because, like, it's not taboo. It's not like we're gonna say, "Oh, you're a streamer on Twitch, and you can't be here for Kick." Okay, what's the point? It was for content creators,
Yeah.
just hosted by Kick.
Yeah.
You're not disqualified. You can join in. So I feel like that needs to be a thing for sure, for sure.
No, no, definitely. Yeah, I think like I said, the ones that are over there trying to do, trying to find their community or trying to find their group. Because like I said, Twitch's communities, when it comes to like this, group communities, I think it's far and few between because everybody's doing their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I think it would be kind of cool seeing all these different platforms to come together under one house and then see where it goes from there.
The way I see Kick in a lot of ways, shape, or forms is that Kick is a bunch of Twitch rejects. the
Well,
one the
yeah,
one the ones that didn't make it are the ones that hate it. So and they come over here with those same goofy motives from Twitch, and then they give Kick a bad name. You
yeah,
know what I mean? And that's the problem. That's the problem. We got people like that, the bitter people, bitter Twitch people coming over to Kick, and they still bitter,
yeah.
and they're gonna be bitter towards everybody, and bitter towards people's growth, and be two
Well,
faced and everything else.
yeah, that's what I tell everybody. It doesn't matter where you go, your content's what makes you, not the platform you're on.
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, like I said, it would be cool to see, like you said, to have some of the Twitch people, get involved with the uprising and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the other ones, if Trovo still exists, I don't even know if it still exists or if it has people that do music over there. But there's there's a whole bunch of different platforms out there that I found out in the last 6 months that I had no idea existed.
Yeah, like
Um,
Amazon Live and stuff. Like,
yeah,
it's everywhere. But just imagine though, like, because since if we're not able to organically grow a category just by being a category, right?
Mhm.
Then why not be collaborative? You know what I mean?
Yep,
Like, Twitch has a beautiful, like, following, or on their in their music category. You know what I mean? Right now they got 31K in the
yeah,
in the category. I just pulled that up. Let's see ours. Hold on. We're here. Music. In total, I want to say maybe we have 2,300, because there's the music stations, which apparently is the radio stations that we have here, and I didn't even know that was a thing. Our live music has 104. It's not benefiting no one. You know what I mean?
yeah.
If you're a guitar player, there's 0 viewers there. That's just a whole dead. And then dance, there's 1 viewer. These people are square dancing. Like, what is going on? But, like, that's what I'm saying. So, like,
Well,
imagine if we had, fairly, because I remember one time, man, Twitch hosted this concert. It was like, oh, not a concert, but they, like, had a live stream go on for a concert. It had like 1.6 million viewers, and it broke the site. Like, the site went down. And I'm like, dang, bro, imagine if we had that kind of pool where we were making it in collaborations to that. Like, we got DreamHack, and I talked about DreamHack, and they're like, "Is that a Kick thing?" I'm like, "It don't gotta be just a Kick thing. Like,
no,
you could pull up too. I mean, it's hosted by, I mean, us in a way, but it's like, let's connect. I mean, I go to TwitchCon. I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, I'm a Kick streamer at TwitchCon." I'm not gonna get Aiden Rost. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna
yeah,
let me in. I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, Kick," and screw Twitch. I'm just gonna be there and passing out cards. Like, I plan to go to DreamHack possibly this May, um, and I'm gonna just hand out business cards.
yeah,
You know what I mean? And just that's
yeah.
it.
Because I got DreamHack in May. They got Midwest Fest in June. That's the Midwest Fest is in the Kansas City area. Dream Hacks in the Dallas area,
Yeah,
and
I'm
then
not Dallas, but I'm a fly.
you could fly. Yeah, I went to Loot Fest, which was back in February. That was kind of interesting. I didn't get to meet Amaze, but I seen Amaze there. Um, and I seen a bunch of other music artists and stuff there too. So we actually had a booth right next to Kick, so we got to talk to Andrew or not. And is that Santa Maria? Is that Andrew?
Yeah.
Okay, that's who I thought, but I wasn't for sure because everybody was just introducing me as Santa Maria. But we got to talk to him for a little bit on a Saturday morning before everything kicked off. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I think if we could all get together and collab on things instead of pointing fingers, it's like, oh, this platform, that platform.
Mm-hmm.
It would turn out to be a big. It doesn't matter who hosts it. I mean, it just to get it started.
Exactly.
So, but well, I think I'm going to cut out of here and let you go and eat because I know, like you said, I know you said you hadn't had supper yet, but
Mm-hmm.
I do appreciate you taking the time out of your Sunday to come and chat with me. It was very enlightening, and I learned a lot about you and a lot about how you put things together, which was really fascinating because ever since I've been talking to the music side of things, that's where I kicked off the podcast, where I was talking to everybody in music basically, and it's really got my thought process and stuff to go wanting to learn more about it. So
Mm-hmm.
and everybody I've talked to is taught me something new. So that's always a good thing when you learn something new.
Yeah, that's good. That's always good.
But I know you gave a lot of good information on how to things. But if there's one piece of information you could give to somebody that would benefit them to, like, say if they're struggling trying to figure out in the music industry or the music side of things or content creation things side of things, what would you tell them to do if they're struggling with getting to where they want to be?
I said this in Maze's chat the other day. You got to pay to play. And what I mean by that is you got to have money lined up to be able to promote yourself. There's places where you have to pay for placement to be on certain platforms and certain you want to, let's say you want to get a song out, you may need to reach out to a promoter, you might need to reach out to a radio station and they'll ask you for XYZ amount of dollars sometimes to be able to have your music placed. You can't be trying to take the cheap route. The free route, the cheap route is never going to get you anywhere because what's going to happen is you're going to just be praying for virality, and that doesn't always happen. It does. It's like 1 in a million type chance. You know what I mean? Where people go viral to enough where it's substantial enough for you to be noticed by everyone, right?
Mhm.
Um, which even in that, you have to go out of your way to do something stupid. That's why a lot of the people that are popping up on Kick, Twitter, are little kids and stuff like that, and people doing idiotic things,
Yep.
which is getting their attention, but it's also not helping them in their brand either because now they're just seen as some punk or whatever, right? But if you are willing to invest in yourself, like you were willing to invest in your streamer kit 101, which I say is bullcrap because it's the SM7B, it's some cheap wire, and it's also a Go XLR. That's streamer 101. That's like the kit that everybody gets. And if you don't know how to use that type of stuff, and you're just gonna sound like trash to me, and I'm gonna point it out. However, you have to be willing to invest in yourself in more than just your equipment, in more than just your overlays, in more than just, you know, your graphics, whatever. You have to be able to invest yourself in promotion for, because that's why if you look at these websites, or not these websites, but applications, they do have promotion tabs.
Mhm.
Instagram has it, Facebook has it, TikTok has it. There's promotion tabs, creator tools, right? They give you the power to be able to put your stuff in front of people, and it's going to cost money. So it costs anywhere between $5 to whatever you want it to be. But it's depends on how you want to move it. You can do it for profile views for TikTok in particular. You can do it for more views on your video.
Mhm.
You can do profile views. You can do for following. You know what I mean? But you also can put your stuff in specific categories if you'd like, or you can allow TikTok to choose it for you. It's literally a promotion tab, and a lot of people don't tap that because why? Because why?
Does it cost
They're
money?
cheap.
Yeah.
It costs money. And sometimes you have to do that. You have to be willing to do that. Take out $100 or $200, put it to the side for yourself for promoting, and use that. I'm not talking about no view bots. I'm not talking about none
Yeah.
of that. I'm talking about promoting. Use the creator tools that are in our social media applications to promote yourself. If I can say anything, use that. And I promise you, it will change everything. You can do it on Twitter. You can do it on Twitter.
Yep.
It's everywhere. It's there for a reason. Because why? Because it helps with the algorithm, helps with manipulating the algorithm. And then lastly, outside of that, stick to one thing, please. For the love of God, stick to one thing. I'm so tired of like meeting people that say I can do this, that, and the third, and blah blah blah, and then they're on their stream doing varieties. Like, oh, I'm gonna sing over here, I'm gonna rap over here, I'm gonna play Call of Duty, I'm gonna play Pokemon one day, I'm gonna be a variety. The variety streaming, it does not work for everyone.
Yeah.
You can establish yourself as that, but I promise you, if you're not doing something stupid on variety streaming or something that's extremely entertaining or funny, you're not gonna make it. You're
Yep.
wasting your time. Stick to one thing, be good at that one thing, and then later you can introduce that stuff, because that's what a lot of people want everybody to know who they are and what they're capable of. But if you are able to show them this one thing and then expound on you, that would make people appreciate you a lot more as a content creator too. They didn't, oh, I didn't know that they could do such and such. Wow, they're multi-talented. But that could be a later thing. You don't have to
Yeah.
put all your eggs in one basket and serve it, and then everybody just says, "Oh, this guy's trash because he just does too much."
Yeah. Because sooner or later you end up wearing yourself out too, and then
You're,
it
exactly.
becomes content that
You're gonna burn out.
yeah, because people are going to realize that you're not enjoying it. So,
Yeah,
and if you're not enjoying it, nobody else is going to enjoy it.
and all respect to Sweet Tails, but she was a person that did everything right,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually it took a toll on her mental health, and that happens to a lot of content creators, is where they have to take breaks. If they're not taking mental breaks and stuff like that too, because they're the people that just like, I got to think every day of what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make a video. I'm gonna do. I gotta. What am I gonna do today? Like they're stressing. They're freaking out.
Yep.
They're making, and if they don't go live, they feel obligated, and it's bad on their mental health. It's bad on their physical, and it just causes. And that's how the people get depressed. That's how we lose content creators due to suicide and stuff like that. Like Etika from the dude that he was
Mm-hmm.
stressing. A lot of YouTubers stress over their video metrics. They stress over having to make videos all the time. And if you don't create a schedule that's steady and consistent, like Corey Kenshin, he's one of the bigger content creators on YouTube, has millions of followers, but he takes a lot of breaks and he doesn't tell you when he's going to come back. He just pops up, and every time he comes up, bro, millions of views every single time. Because why? Because his community is there for him, and they know that he needs to lock in on his family, and he talks about these things all the time. But he has built up, and and when he comes back, he makes those videos, and there'll be long videos explaining where he's been, what he's been up to, and he's built that trust. And I don't care
Yep.
how long this guy is gone. He can come back for a series of movies or games and stuff, and then leave again, and then we'll miss him, and then he'll come out. Like, he's got that, and that's what we need to. That's what we need to build. That's what, as content creators that want to do all that stuff, build a solid trust and stay there, and then
Yeah.
introduce later. It's simple. It's not difficult. I don't expect to come back from my hiatus to having a bunch of people, because I only established like 16 to 20 something viewers when I before I left. But I do expect to come back to someone. You
Yep.
know what I mean? When I do decide to. And I told everybody, I was like, hey, I'm still gonna be posting, I'm still gonna be around, I'm still gonna be making videos and stuff like that too. But this is my progress. This is where I'm at right now. And when I come back, I'll see you. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. No, that's
lock
good
it in.
advice. Yeah, lock it in. But like I said, I'm gonna go let you be with your family and go eat some food. And like I said, I really appreciate you taking time out on this Sunday evening, and I'm glad we get to finally nail a date down and get this done.
Yeah,
Um,
man.
and also, I'll be reaching out to everybody again because, like I said, I like to catch up and see how things go later on down the road and see how everything's going. But yeah, stay tuned and make sure you guys follow Jay Vaughn. Make sure you guys follow Amaze and all of them, because and keep up to date with when the Uprise is going to kick off for season 2. I know I am, because I really want to see it, because listening through it, through all these guys talking about it, I'm really excited about seeing it now. But yeah, just stay true to yourself. That's the only thing I can say.
Yep. That's the only thing you can do.
All right, guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Amaze, my gun, I seen you up there. I think somebody else was in here earlier too. Sierra, thank you. And anybody else that was hanging out and lurking out in the background, I appreciate you guys hanging out on both X and Twitter. And I forgot we were also on Rumble too. So, but we will see you guys soon. Just stay tuned to Twitter. Like I said, I'm one of these that I'll just put something together. So I don't have like a long list, because I did that once before. I used to do 4 podcasts a week, and it burnt me out.
Yeah.
But like I said, you can have a good rest of your Sunday evening, and we will talk to you soon.
All right, man. Take care.
All right. Thanks, guys.